Good morning, everybody. I hope you have had a good week and that you're all doing really well. I thought I should give a little disclaimer is that I film these videos on a Sunday morning, so I really don't feel like getting out of my pajamas or getting ready for the day when I don't have to and it's still early morning. So you're just getting a video makeup free today. Let me clip my hair up. Okay, now we are finally good to go. Today I want to talk about who you will serve and the choice that we have in whether we serve God or not. And it's actually a really interesting topic because at the end of the day I think it's a simple choice, but it's not always an easy choice for anyone to make. To give you some context of where I'm going, where I'm reading from, the Israelites had come out of Egypt and they were led by Joshua into Israel, and they'd been fighting for years against smaller tribes and things, and Joshua is now an old man. I'm talking chapter 23 of Joshua. And Joshua calls all the heads, so Israel was split into 12 tribes, and he called these 12 tribe leaders forward and addressed them. And that is where this context is, that's where this verse comes from. But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites, in other words, any other gods, in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. He puts this forward to the people as a choice. Choose today who you're going to serve. And I read this in a commentary. I wish I was wise enough to come up with this stuff myself, but I wasn't. I read this in a commentary and it's so good. It says, he puts it to the people as a choice, not because it didn't matter whether they chose God or not, or as if they had the power to refuse God's intervention, whether there'd be blessing or curse based off of their choice, but because their choosing affects their perseverance. This was so cool for me to read. And the best example that I could think of was I have recently decided to try and learn how to play the piano. I used to play it when I was younger and I really didn't enjoy it. I didn't feel like I had a choice. And I just hated practicing. I couldn't persevere through it, so I gave it up. And now, last year, on Black Friday, I bought a piano keyboard on sale, and because I've chosen to learn it, I push through when it gets difficult, and I persevere when I don't feel like it. That was the choice that Joshua gave the people, was knowing if he put that choice before them, if they chose God, they would hold on to him and persevere through the tough times that would still face them in their lifetimes. In Deuteronomy 30, verse 19 to 20, it says, "This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live, and that you may love the Lord your God, listen to his voice, and hold fast to him, for the Lord is your life." In John 14, verse 6, Jesus answered, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Choosing life looks like choosing Jesus, choosing to serve him first and only. And when we choose to serve him, we have the perseverance to continue through the trials and tribulations that are going to face us, because it's not always going to be easy to choose Jesus. And I also just felt like it's important to mention that often when we don't choose anything, we've made a choice. So if I say, that's too much, I'm not going to choose God, but I'm also not choosing like death and other gods. By not choosing God, you've made that choice. You, me, if we don't, whoever. I also really want to add onto this, because it can sound very like condemning, like choose, make a decision, but it's not always easy. Choosing Jesus can often look like a lot of changes to your life, a lot of making things different, a lot of laying yourself down and putting him first, and that's hard. Like, that's not an easy thing to have to do, and I 100% get that. There are still days where I'm like, what is this choice set me up for? But the joy of it is so far outweighs the negatives and the hard days, and the satisfaction that I get from Christ is so much deeper than what not choosing him would ever give me. I understand those of you who are grappling with it and being like, I don't know what I want yet. That's okay. Take your time, because if it's a choice you make, it will affect your perseverance. When the tough time comes, what's going to hold you? What's going to keep you persevering? Because you never actually chose him for yourself. You chose him because your parents took you to church when you were younger, or someone told you once that Jesus is a good idea. That's not going to cause you to persevere. What's going to keep you persevering through the tough times is when it's actually been your decision. Choose to look for who God is to you. Choose to decide what it is that I want and why I would choose him. If I choose Jesus, why do I do that? And how does that then affect the perseverance when tough times come? So yeah, I hope that makes sense. It's quite a punchy message. It's a lot of and I get that. So if there are like any questions or comments, please let me know. I definitely don't want you to walk away from watching a video like this and be like, she has no idea. I do know I've had my moments of being like, I don't know if I want to choose you, Jesus, and that's okay, because when I did eventually decide in my second year of varsity, first year of varsity, I choose you, it's been able to carry me through every single thing since then. So have a beautiful week, and I will see you next week.